This is actually inserted into this chamber while the glass is molten, and this resonance ends up affecting the glass itself in terms of recording that information. There's a simplicity in creating a resonance chamber that's actually made out of the same material as the actual material that is recording the resonance, the sound. This form is made and molten glass is poured inside of it, which is what starts to cause this line way up here, because the bottom of the vessel is actually right down here. This is, a function of communication. A book is a function of communication, but it's not going to do a whole lot for you if you don't actually open it up and start to read it and make that attempt to become engaged. And in that way, one could actually come across this object and take it as, for all intents and purposes, the signifier that it is. It's a vessel, it's a traditional form. And they could leave it at that, or they could start to actually investigate that, and maybe at a certain point somebody will stop with the sort of information that there was a process that happened with the vessel, in that there was a recording, there was an action. Once again, this whole issue of this material being able to respond to action. It has a kind of memory. With an action, there is a reaction. What happens is on the meniscus, this actual viewing point here, if one looks really closely, you can start to see the lines of the glass, the kind of pore lines of the glass. And what you end up seeing here in this line of the glass is, if you look closely enough, sorry, draw this a little better, you start to see there's a kind of even striation of the pore line. And then as you kind of come up to the top of the meniscus of the glass pore line, you start to see this, and I'm exaggerating here, start to see this different kind of striation and pore mark. And this obviously being the surface that's the most affected from the resonance. There is, on my part, that interest to capture the ephemeral, something that is so ephemeral like sound. Listening back to recordings, some of the first recordings, let's say that Edison made, there is a ghostly quality. And maybe we're limited in our technology at the moment, but maybe in you know, another 100 years, maybe there is that potential to retrieve that sound from the vessel again. There is a possibility of engaging the language of science and putting it under a microscope, putting it under certain tests that would reveal information. But it really is, and I think it is going back to what we can actually see with the naked eye, what we come to know as a one-on-one experience as opposed to a mediated one. And I'm asking the viewer to take a really extended leap in terms of seeing the striations in the vessel, in the actual pore marks, and to you know, go maybe as far as viewing that information as a three-dimensional, for me, an ultimate portrait of sound.